We on.
Oh, no,
we're live on the Golden Square podcast.
Right.
This is Linda. This is Barry. Come to the round table. You square off with the board.
Hey everybody! Hey! So yeah. Mm-hmm. What happened? Hi Barry, how are you?
Hey Linda, how are you?
What's going on?
Can I say this to you?
Say it.
I love the way your hair looks today.
Oh,
you look so beautiful. So it's
thank
like
you. Thank you.
A truly sexy look for you.
Oh, but you know I don't like curls. If you know me, you know I don't like curls. But it's so hot.
No, it's amazing. It looks
Thank
beautiful.
You. Thank you.
You know, obviously I like curls as well, but yours looks really pretty. You look so soft and demure.
Ooh,
demure. You.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
So feminine.
Me.
I love it. I think it's very sexy.
All right.
You have to continue that look. I think curls they're beautiful on you. And once that drops the way it should, it's gonna even be cuter. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Well, enough of your beauty. How was your day, Linda?
It was a good day.
Okay.
It was a good day. It was a good day. I had time to relax a little bit. I cooked dinner for you.
Yes, you did.
I did.
Yes,
I did. Now, if you don't see him next Thursday, I'll understand why. But I went in.
And I decided to stop coming for her because Linda is really a good cook. Her food is so flavorful and soulful. She makes beans like you wouldn't believe. So I decided that I was going to stop.
It's your money, but go ahead, keep
going.
No. It's building.
But I decided to stop, hitting her like, oh, she can't cook. She can only bake, but that's not true. She has ability to make you think you're at home with your mama. That soul food sort of, that family thing. It's a really good taste. Her food is quite tasty. So I'm gonna stop saying that you can't cook. And now let's be clear though.
Okay.
Linda does not like to cook.
Yeah, that part.
And I'm gonna say that more than anything. She doesn't like to cook, but she really can cook, and her food is very flavorful, soul food, flavorful. And Florida is the South, so it has that little, spin. And she's by Cuba, she's by the islands, so there's a mix of flavors that come through that's amazing. So I must commend you.
Okay, thank you. But I did it all for him, and because on Thursday it's our long day.
Yes, it is.
And we don't have time to go out and, get dinner. And by the time all this is over, everything is closed.
Correct.
So,
right, we get it because we do what we do. So for you guys at home, after we do a recap with the producers and we talk about our likes and dislikes about the show and how much you guys enjoy the show with your comments. So there's a little time spent. So it's what, 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9, 10, and we're done. So eating home is always nice. One of the things I look forward to coming on Thursday is Linda's food now.
Okay, so anyway, how was your day? How was your day? Lord, help him.
It was interesting. It was an interesting day. We're just busy. A lot of heat. I mean,
oh my God, say that again.
Hot. 102 degrees today.
This morning at 8. No, I got up at 9. It was already 9 o'clock p.m.
Look, you see how that's how much people want in on our show. They call in the middle of our show. They're screaming how they want us. And thank you so much for the continuous support.
Thank you.
But this is a bad time to call in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
please.
We'll see you at 8.
Hang on. You know what today is. That's why we say it's Thursday.
And they call right away behind us. They're like, I know she's there.
Right.
She's doing the show.
Isn't that crazy? And girl, listen. Today is Thursday. The Golden Square podcast.
7 Central.
7 Central.
That means we're booked from 7 to 8.
At least.
All right. So how you calling us?
And you know that. But that's okay. We thank you for your support.
Well,
you do like and you share and you subscribe with us.
Say that one more time.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Because you people act like we're not saying that.
Exactly.
Can y'all do that? Just do it. Come on. You know you like the show.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm sure that's why she was calling to say,
I love the show. You guys are on and I'm so happy.
Yeah. And then what's going on is we have all these different time zones going on.
And the other thing I want to say out loud too, which is beautiful, as we progress and get better and better with y'all, maybe it will be a time that we will be taking call-ins, you know. So
we had that. We had a few that called in, but this wasn't the night for it. We've had that already, and it was a great experience.
And we definitely continue to support and receive the comments that go throughout the show. So and we try to respond to them as best and as fast as we can, because content is everything. We are really excited about how we're growing and how you're growing along with us. Yeah. But please, no more calls.
Not until 8:30.
8:01.
8:30. 8:30. Okay. So, but anyway, with all that being said, a great day. Hot in Houston. We have to protect ourselves in more ways than one, other than the heat. Mm-hmm. We need to know all about surroundings. Mm-hmm. So with that,
surroundings and what we could do within those surroundings. Our guest today is an incredible gentleman. He's a detective in the Houston Police Department.
Yes. Here in Houston and surrounding areas.
Right. And he is dynamic, and he's going to bring us some tips and some insight on how we need to better take care of ourselves through this time of the year. We all know that summertime, everybody's moving about. You know, you have less clothes on. Your guard is down a little differently because it's summertime, because it's more fun and it makes sense. But we still need to be conscious. And we brought somebody on the show today who's really going to help us navigate through the safety part of the summer.
Right.
So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring our guest in today, Detective
Khalil Johns.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good. Thanks for the amazing intro. Appreciate that.
You are amazing. You already said it to you. Ladies, I've pre-warned you and told you he was a very handsome young man, and I would love to have him to give us everything that we would need to keep us safe. And I trust him. So, Khalil, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Because there's so much to you.
Yeah, it's a lot to me. Unfortunately, you know, I got a pretty extensive history. But yes, my name is Khalil Johns. I'm a detective with the Houston Police Department. I'm in the organized crime squad. I've been a police officer for approximately 17 years. 14 of those years have been in investigations. So most of my career has been in investigations. My background about myself, I am first generation American. My family's from Panama, Central America. We just played in the soccer game yesterday, and Ghana beat us. Before you saw that game, it was the last second. I don't know now. I feel some type of way about that right now. So my moves down is probably what I'm thinking about. But from Panama, I come from a family of police officers. My uncle, he recently retired. He was a detective with HPD. My oldest brother, he currently is still on the department. He is a detective with HPD in the adult sex crimes division. My middle brother, the one right between me and my oldest brother, he is a officer with the DRT, differential response team. They do like the community service and stuff like that. They're the ones that are in the community. If you have any complaints, they're the ones that kind of handle that. And my niece, actually, his daughter, she just joined the department about a year and a half ago. So we got a family of police officers.
Family affairs. Family affairs.
So listen, tell us what organized crime really means. What does that mean? What does that squad do? What do they?
For sure.
What is, you know?
For sure. So my squad is a specialized unit within the property and financial crimes division. And what we do, is we go after organized crime, organized retail theft, organize burglary crews, any crime that involves 2 to 3 or more people specialize in. And we, you know, it's like the way I explain it to people, you have your petty crime, right? You're like for theft, for example, you have your petty theft, the guys that just go in and steal just for themselves, or they might steal a couple of things and might sell it on the corner or something like that, right? That's your petty theft. So we don't focus on that. We focus on the people that are driving the theft. So those are technically what we call in our law enforcement the fences. Those are the people that employ the thieves to steal, and then the thieves then go and take those products to the fence, who's the person that purchases those items from the thieves, and then the fence then will either sell it, like they might sell it out of they might have a little store that they sell out of, or they might ship it to another country. You know, they do different things with that. So we go after those people. Those are who we call the drivers of the crime, right? So they're the people they are the people that are directly influencing crime in the area. So instead, like cutting the head off the snake, right? I can go and I can arrest 1,000 shoplifters. If I don't get the person that's employing them, then I'm going to be spinning my tires, right? So we go after the top person, the person that's employing them. A lot of times, those are people that have little shops or boutiques or something like that, and that's who we go after. So we go after the driver of the crime. So we go after them. We go after organized burglary crews as well. So
and complexes as well. So is that like home robberies, or what is that exactly?
Yeah. So what you have, what I explain to people, there is burglaries are what we go after, right? And burglaries are when people enter a habitation, as a burglary habitation. They enter a habitation, which is a house, unlawfully, usually through force, and the intent is to steal something, right? That's a burglary. So we do burglaries of habitation, and we do burglaries of buildings, right? So like that's your convenience stores, that's your gas stations, that's your like your Walmarts or your Best Buys. We go after people that break into those as well. So we do burglary and theft. So burglaries and thefts. That's kind of what we go after. We go after the bigger guys, not the little one off.
What about the financial theft?
Yeah. Financial. Yeah. So there's a unit that covers that. So what we do is we cover burglary and theft, and then there's a financial crimes squad that does financial crimes. So under property and financial crimes, we do the property side, and then financial crimes has their own side that they're guys that specialize in that, and they focus on those financial crimes. So we have a financial crime squad, we have a cyber crime squad. They all fall under financial crimes.
Okay, so right there. We have a.
So if someone steals and it's 3 of you, but one stole the item without you knowing this, is that organized crime? This is a question.
I mean, organized crime is working in concert with each other, right? So if they're working together in concert, like, hey, you look over there and make sure they're not coming back here. One's a lookout, the other two, one person picks out the item, another person conceals the item. You're working in concert. Therefore, that is considered organized retail theft. Now, if you're shopping and your friend goes down another aisle and steals something, and y'all leave together, that's not organized because you guys didn't work. You guys were not working together, technically. So we don't. Yeah.
How do you prove that though?
Right.
Because I know you guys are gonna come and say, no, the 2 of you were together, and you knew that Barry was going to steal.
Yeah. Well, this is.
Go ahead.
So so this is what we tell people, like, the investigations happen, right? We do investigations. So we don't just arrest the first person we see, or if one person steals, we don't arrest both of them. We do the investigation. So we go and we review video, right? If there's video of the theft that we can prove that one person was involved, the other person wasn't, then we'll go after that one person. So we do investigations, we review video, We speak to all parties involved if they choose to speak to us, and then that's how we determine who is the thief and who isn't. So that's how we do. We determine who the person is through investigation.
I think I've been looking at TV too much.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah,
yeah. Cut it out. This is really
So that's what we run into a lot is crime TV has really skewed the expectations of the citizens because they expect quick results, or they expect, or even if, or with with the criminals, they think that we can't solve crimes as fast as we can because they see first 48 or whatever. I mean, law enforcement is not TV. There's a process that goes. There's a process that we have to follow. There's a way we have to do things in order to prove a case, right? So yeah, like I've heard, people. I've got that question before, and we just tell them that we do a thorough investigation. If you do a thorough investigation, the investigation is to find out who did the crime, not to arrest everybody, right? But if we see that you guys are talking and there is a concerted effort to commit the crime together, we're going to charge everybody. Everybody gets, even if one person walks out with the item, everybody's getting charged with the same thing.
Can I ask, with everything that's going on now in our country, not just here in Houston, but in the country, the fear that now is on detectives or polices, how do you erase that fear? How could you help us get past that?
Man, for me, I can't speak for every police officer out there. I can't speak for everybody. I know what I do in the community, and I try to, I try to treat everybody with dignity and respect. That's the main thing I try to focus on is dignity and respect. If this badge, we have a responsibility. That doesn't make you bigger or better than anybody. That's what I tell people, especially new officers, man. Like, you're here to serve the people, serve the community. You're not here to be a bully, right? Like, you're here to enforce a law, but you're also here to be fair, and you're here to be understanding. A lot of time I try to explain to people, nobody calls the police when they're having the best day ever. It's usually the worst thing. It's usually their worst day they've ever had that year that they call the police, right? And we have to go out there. You have to deal with people with compassion. I understand the fears of everybody because of what's going on in the world right now. And, there's nothing I can do by myself to change that. All I can do is just give people good customer service and have a positive interaction with people. Even when I arrest people, even when I've interrogated people, I'm still respectful. I'm still courteous because they're human. Everybody makes mistakes. My philosophy, I don't judge somebody off of one mistake. If you did something wrong, you have to serve the time and you have to go through the process, but there's always a way to change your circumstance and choose better next time. And I try to leave people with that thought process. I'm not here, this isn't personal. I'm not here to cause you harm or to take your life away. I'm just here to do my job. But after I do my job, I definitely try to leave people with some kind of positive message about their situation, and that's what I do personally. I can't speak for other officers. I can't speak for their motivations. My motivation was to make a change, and I can't change the world, but make a change in the world that I influence around me.
Right.
Positive.
That's good. So, we're in summertime now, and there's an influx of people on the streets and more activities because it is summertime, school's out, vacation time for most families. How do we maintain safety in this time of the year, in this climate?
Well, I think the main thing I tell people is just be aware, right? Awareness is key. Try to avoid unnecessary situations and just try to be prepared, right? For example, summertime is when a lot of people travel, right? They're going out to Disneyland or they're going to go visit family. And that's usually when a lot of home burglaries happen because these suspects they might know your schedule better than yourself. Right. I've had a case like that before where I arrested a guy for burglary and he burglarized about 30 residences. And yeah, and when I interrogated him, he told me, yeah, I know these people's schedule better than they do. So
Wow.
you have to be aware of that, you know, and always think the worst. Always think of the worst. Always think of what the worst. Always think of what is the worst that can happen. I'm trying to get it out the right way, but always think of the worst things that can happen. So I tell people, specifically that live in Greater Houston area where HPD has jurisdiction. If you're going out of town, you can always do what's called an alert slip, right? An alert slip is you go to your nearest police station, right, and you say, hey, I'm going out of town from this time to this time. Can you guys have an officer check my house periodically? And what they will do is they will have an officer each shift assigned to check your house for as long as you're gone. It could be 3, 4 days, 10 days, 2 months. You know, there'll be an officer that checks during the shift. So it won't be like every hour, but it'll be periodically.
Right.
Someone's checking.
Someone's doing. Another way is people stop putting your "I'm leaving to go on a trip" social media thing, because you're inviting people to come to your house if they know where you are. But that's thing.
For sure. Just to follow up on that, and I had a case recently where a lady, she went to the Galleria Mall to go shopping. She bought this very expensive purse. She puts the purse on her stories. She's like, hey, look at the purse I got, whatever. Unbeknownst to her, one of her followers, because she had like 50,000 followers, was in the Galleria at the same time. And they saw that video. And they were able to locate where she was, and they followed her from the Galleria to another location where she left the purse in the car. She goes to that location. I think it was the bank. She went into the bank, went to go do something. By the time she came back out, her car had been broken into and her purse was stolen. We were able to recover everything, but you got to be aware of that. You know, not everybody that follows you, just because it says their friends are following you, they might not be your friend. You know what I'm saying? There might be somebody that's trying to victimize you. So always be aware of that. I don't really post pictures of vacations until after I come back.
Me too.
You know, that'd be something you could do. Like I said, you don't need to tell everybody your business. If you got a new purse or new anything, I just, you know, I know we're in an era where everybody wants to show off, but there's the other side to that. There, you know, you show off, somebody wants that.
Right.
You know, there's somebody that might want that. There might not everybody might not want the best for you. So just kind of be aware of that. You know, if you're gonna do that, just understand that there may be consequences.
I think you should say that again for the people in the back, because that was
just in case you didn't hear me. I just, again, you know, I think that is best to, you know, to enjoy life and to live, you know, and do things that you will do what you want to do, but also be conscious of your actions, because your actions, especially if you're showing off, you might be bringing unwanted attention to yourself. So just be aware of that. Be aware of the consequences.
A viewer just said, watch what you post.
Exactly.
For sure. I mean, definitely watch what you post. You know, just a lot of things. And then, you know who you have around you. A lot of times, people, it ain't the random stranger. It's somebody you know within your circle that might burgle you, that might steal from you, you know, that might do things. So just be aware, man. I mean, I'm not not trying to scare people into being like a recluse, but just be aware. Yeah, these are facts because we arrest the people that do it, and we're like, oh, you knew this guy? Oh yeah, he came to my house one day for a party. He followed me on Instagram, saw that I went out of town, and broke in.
Wow.
You know, so it's different. You know, so just be aware of that. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but be aware of that.
There's another big influx in cars being jacked at the gas station. Can you tell us a little bit how to be safe around that area?
Yeah.
So cars specifically, or are you talking about like cars getting broken into and then things getting stolen out the
as
car?
You're pumping gas, I understand there's a new trend now that as you're pumping gas, they get in your car and pull off.
Oh yeah, that could be a thing. I don't work in auto theft, so I'm not too conscious of those thefts. But if it does happen, that's usually what happens. What are people doing when they're pumping gas? Most of the time, unaware, on their phone.
Exactly.
Not being conscious, not being aware of what's going on, not being aware of their surroundings. A lot of times they might go to the gas stations in sketchy areas. Like you can always choose a better gas station. So I would say, for those type of situations, awareness. Everything. I'm going to lead everything with awareness. We're in such a society is in such a place where awareness is the last thing on their mind. They're focused on what they're going to post on social media. They're focused on every distraction in the world except for what's in front of them right now. Everything. This phone. They're looking at updates and watching YouTube, all these different things instead of looking at what's around them. There have been so many times where I've had cases where when I was on patrol where somebody got robbed and they can't tell you what they look like. Or they're walking down the street. They're on their phone the whole time. The person sees them. They're unaware, easy target, robs them. When we get there, we can't get any statement from them because they don't know who robbed them. So we got to go through and look at surveillance video, and then we see the person, and we literally have seen that happen. The lady's walking down, person hand, eyes on phone. The guy is right there, right in front of her. She doesn't even pay attention to him, doesn't make eye contact, nothing. She walks past, he turns around, robs her, boom, bolts out. Officers get there, she can't tell you what the guy looked like. Can't give you any description. Luckily, we have video, and we were able to solve that case. But that's what happened. So I just tell people, as hard as it is to get off your phone, stay off your phone until you get to the destination you need to be in. Right?
But it's not hard. It's not hard because my life is more important than me being on the phone looking at it for a few minutes. Now, I myself wear earpiece. I don't even at home. So you're always looking around because I want to know who's around me.
Yeah.
So just get off the phone. Just put the phone down. And then I lock my car.
Yeah.
While I'm pumping my gas. I'm going to say that too.
Yeah, lock your car and go ahead. Sorry.
You have a black belt, correct? That's exciting. What can you tell us as far as self-defense when it comes to just day-to-day moving about in a crowded city that's bustling?
Okay, just background about me. I didn't really talk about that part. I am I would say second generation martial artist. My dad is a martial arts master. We're from Panama. My dad is a martial arts instructor. He teaches Shotokan karate. He's been teaching martial arts for almost 58 years, since he was about 15 years old. So I grew up in a martial arts family. My dad's a master. He's a 10th degree black belt. My mom's an 8th degree black belt. My middle brother is a 7th degree black belt. I'm a 6th degree black belt. So our whole family, like one thing about our family is if we do something, we all gonna do it. As you can see. Yeah, so we come from a martial arts family, martial arts background. I teach. We have a karate school in Missouri City, Houston, Texas, where I teach as well. I teach women's self-defense, and I'm also a licensed to carry instructor. I teach shooting classes and tactical shooting classes. So that's like my background when it comes to kind of what I do. And when it comes to safety and self-defense, the biggest thing I tell people in regards to that is the best self-defense is not getting into a situation at all, trying to avoid it. The best self-defense is avoidance. You don't want to have to or use your martial arts. If you're using that, you've made a mistake somewhere. At some point down the line, you missed something, or you were not aware of something. I try to tell people, like as much karate as I know, as much shooting and tactical training that I do, I don't want to shoot anybody. I don't want to fight anybody. I don't want to do none of that. This is like my protection for myself You know, in case I have to, I'm prepared. You know, one of the things I talked about was preparation. I'm prepared to, but I don't want to. So the best self-defense is awareness, you know, but be prepared. Don't train. Go out there and learn how to shoot a gun. Do some kind of training, something to prepare yourself, for any type of danger. You know, I teach women's self-defense classes. I teach about maybe 10, 15 a year. And out of all of them, maybe 2 have taken a self-defense class before. And women are some of the most victimized people in the world. I tell people all the time, if it's a 66% chance or 75% chance that it's gonna rain tomorrow, aren't you gonna carry an umbrella?
Yeah.
66 to 75% chance that you as a woman can be victimized. Why don't you protect yourself? Train, learn a skill, learn something, you know? So that's the reality I try to teach. So preparation, that's the biggest thing. Prepare and be trained.
So do you recommend women purchasing the gun?
That's what
that
was my.
It was.
So I teach women's self-defense classes. I teach shooting classes as well. I have an intro class where I teach women how to shoot. That's on my Instagram. You can see it on there. But it's a very chill class, right? You're not shooting real guns initially. It's an intro class where I walk you through how to hold the gun. You're shooting like guns that shoot out powder balls, so it's safe, right? You're not out there shooting real guns yet, but it's a good class to teach you about the law, teaches you about how a gun functions, and it just gets you comfortable in holding a gun and presenting it and shooting it before you go to the range. And even if you never go to the range, you can at least take that class just to learn about guns, right? And I do suggest women do it. You know, I do suggest women do it, even if it's not my class. Take a class to learn how to shoot a gun. It's a necessity. I don't believe in fair fights. You know, like if somebody's trying to hurt you or take your life, you need to be able to do the same thing to them.
Right. Right. Well, I love shooting.
Good.
Okay.
I gotta take you out to my range.
I would love to come to your class and train. I got when I heard about the fake guns.
We just had a viewer that said, "Where do we go to join your class?"
Instagram. My Instagram is on there. If you message me on Instagram, we can definitely set something up.
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
And everybody there's it on the screen.
Yeah.
That's his Instagram and even his email. So if you ladies are interested in taking this class, by all means, give him a holler and make sure you get into one of his classes. I think it's important because you said it all. Women should be prepared to do what somebody would do to them.
Yep.
You know, so because for one, they're the weaker vessel. So the protection is everything. So if it was a choice though, between that class or one of your karate classes or martial art classes, which would you suggest, or is that just a preference?
I'd be a preference. I mean, so karate is good. You know, it's more of a lifestyle thing. So it's not a class you can come and drop in one time and then you don't come back. Karate is more of a cultural thing. It's more of a lifestyle. Now, when it comes to self-defense, the self-defense classes I teach, those are classes that I suggest people that don't have time for martial arts. You can do the self-defense class, and that's a one-time class, and we cover everything. And you could take it. It does build upon once you come multiple times. It does build up, but for the most part, that's the class I would suggest you take. It teaches you the basics about awareness, how to spot a potential threat, how to deal with a potential threat, you know, and then what to do after you deal with them, you know, how to contact the police, what to say, you know, all those things. So self-defense and my shooting classes, those are the 2 classes I would lead people to. Karate is more of a lifestyle, right? That's more of a cultural thing. So if you want to get into the art of martial arts, you would do karate. But for the general public, self-defense, my shooting class.
So and your classes, they're for people, not gender specific, right? Male or female doesn't matter.
Anybody, anybody. Yeah, there is it's universal. I focus on women because, like, my mom is a black belt. I've only known warrior women, right? So when I became a police officer, one of the main things that stuck out to me was the fact that I was going out to locations where women were the victim, right, where they were abused. And I ended up throughout my career, sorry.
No problem.
Throughout my career, when I became an investigator, I focused on domestic violence, and a lot of my cases were based on that. So investigating those cases gave me a different perspective. And I was like, man, women, they don't know how to defend themselves. They don't feel like they have protection out here. They can't depend on the police because it's going to take us, 30 minutes to get there, depending on what kind of case it is, 20 minutes, depending on traffic, so they have to be their first line of defense. So that's why I started teaching my classes. From that, then what really spearheaded me teaching my class was I went to high school with two of my friends. They're women that got murdered by their boyfriends. So in domestic violence situations. So after those two murders, that's when I really kicked it into gear and started teaching self-defense classes in Houston. I felt like
classes. How long are they?
Oh, so the class is an hour and a half. If it's the class, I do them like, it's not a weekly class. It's like per session. So say if you and your friends, or I've done it at churches. The last church I did was Wheeler. I did that a couple months ago. So if you get a group of women together or a group of men, whoever you want to do it, and we could do a class together at your location. So we could do it there, or you can come to my dojo. We could do it at my karate school. But I usually do it with like a group of people. Somebody sets it up and we put it on. It's not like a weekly thing. I'm looking at doing it that way, but it just depends on the feedback. A lot of people, they say they want to do it, then when you put the class on, nobody shows up. So I put it on them. If you want to take it, put the class together, I'll come teach you.
So I'm sorry. Okay, is there a series of that class? So once I take that first class of an hour and a half, do I come back for another class? What happens next for me?
Yeah. So usually, like what I've done in the past is we could do a 4 to 6 week series where the class builds upon each other, right? So we start with self-defense, and after the self-defense portion, then we go to the shooting portion. So by the end of it, you've done self-defense, hand-to-hand combat, and we've done shooting. So this is a 6 week process that I've done before. I did that about 2 years ago. Again, it depends on people's commitment, because when you with self-defense, most people see that as a luxury. It's like, do I really ever? You can go through your whole entire life and never take a karate class and be fine. Never take a shooting class and be fine. So people don't see it as a necessity. So when I've done those classes before, they've done it. They're like, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back next week, and you never see them again. So I tell people, if I was like a restaurant, I'll be close to back every week. But self-defense, it's about self-care. It's about being conscious about your surroundings. It's real heavy stuff. So if that's not your mentality already, getting somebody to get to that point is kind of difficult on my end. So I offer the class and I offer multiple series. And if somebody's interested, we can definitely set something up to do that series and we can get it done. But I don't really have a lot of people that are interested in doing it consistently. They might do it once or twice, and then that's it. They kind of drop off.
So what about some of our viewers who are not locally here in Houston? Do you do virtual classes, or will that make sense to do a virtual class?
To me, you know, when people are out of town and if they can't come to me, I would suggest them. I would recommend somebody to them in their city, because hands-on is the only way. I don't believe you can work. Yeah, I don't believe you can stand in front of a TV and learn how to defend yourself. That's not realistic. You know, you need to go against somebody you need to go against somebody, a physical human being that is simulating an attack in order to defend yourself. Or you need to go to the range and you need to put rounds down range. That's the way to do it. So, I mean, if I get a big enough following and people want to, I can go fly out to locations and teach it. But until that happens, I would recommend somebody in that local city or state for them.
You almost have to look at this like you look at car insurance. You don't have a accident every day. You might never have an accident, but if you invest in knowing that if I should have one, I'm covered, I'm prepared. We just had a viewer say that they really appreciate what you're doing because they have a fear of guns. And this is Miss Alice is one of our regulars who watches religiously every week. She says she has a little fear of guns and it's making her feel more comfortable. What would you say to those people who actually do have fear over guns, but it's almost a necessity in the way we live now? So what would you tell that person? What would you say to them to encourage them to take a course, not just yours, but any course, to make sure they have that under their belt?
Correct.
For sure. What I tell people, that's the main thing I run into. That's the main objection I run into when I try to teach people. Like, I'm afraid of guns. I'm scared of guns, you know. And a lot of times, you know, what I tell people is that, you know, I understand that this is a dangerous weapon, but the gun is a tool. If you change the way you view the weapon, if you change the way you view the object, then your perspective widens, right? If you look at this as a gun, oh my God, it is. Don't get me wrong, it's a gun, but it can kill people, yes. But can a hammer do that too?
Right.
Same.
Right.
But it depends on who you use it.
Right. That's what we have to get in our head.
Yeah,
people kill people.
Yeah, people kill, exactly. Yeah, people kill people. You know, guns go off too. We've had, you know, you've heard of those things happening as well. But it's all about knowledge, right? When you learn how to use something, you learn how to respect something, then you treat it better, then you understand it, right? So that's why the intro class is so important, because people that are afraid of guns, they can come to that class and learn how to hold a gun without it going off, or without the fear of killing somebody, because they're not real guns. But they mimic the exact functioning of a real gun, but it doesn't shoot out real bullets. So you can feel it, you can hold it, and it gives you the same feedback that a real gun would give. You know, so that's a way I would tell people to kind of conquer that fear, is by actually picking up a gun, taking a class. Well, not picking up, but taking a class, and having somebody who's competent teach you how to use it. When they come to my class, I dismantle a real gun in front of them, and I show them this is just 4 pieces. There's 4 things. It's not this mystical object that just destroys the world. It's just 4 pieces with a pistol, and I break it down to them very simply, and I get them comfortable by, you know, slowly introducing them to what a gun does and what it is, and then I teach them. So it's like taking a class, you know. So, I mean, you conquer fear by confronting it. So you have to go out there and confront it, you know. So
you're also a license to carry instructor. What does that entail?
So to get your license to carry, you have to take the class. So there's a 4-hour class that I teach, and that class I can actually teach online, right? It can be virtual, or you can come to my location, my dojo. Either way, I can teach that class, but it's a 4-hour class that I teach. After you go through the 4-hour classes, so after you go through the 4-hour class, then you take a test, a written test, right? Once you take the written test, you pass the written test, then we go to the range and we do the practical portion, which is the shooting portion, where you have to go and you have to shoot a target and qualify. right? Once you shoot the target and you pass the qualification, then you qualify. Then I can sign up for your paperwork and show that you qualify to have a license to carry. Now, what I ran into, because I did a lot of those classes during COVID, and that's when everybody was buying guns and stuff, when things were crazy. I did a lot of those classes, and what changed my perspective is.
Okay, he froze. So what?
So caught up.
Yeah,
couldn't move.
Yes. I want to know what kind of gun would he recommend?
Okay.
Okay. So is he there? Khalil, you
Yeah.
there? Yeah.
Oh, great.
Okay.
I'm here. Yeah, my bad. I was finishing up how the process with license to carry, right? So once you go through your certification, once you go through your certification, you qualify. But why I changed that? Why I don't really teach license to carry? I teach more training. I do more training than teaching license to carry, because in Texas you don't need a license to carry really to carry a gun. But two, what was happening? It was people were getting their licenses and then not shooting again. So just because you have your license doesn't mean you're competent to shoot.
Right.
Pass a test to have a license, but it's on you to continue to train, to continue to improve your skill. A lot of people don't do that. They got their license. I run into my students and I'm like, hey, when last time you shot your gun? Oh, last time I shot it was when you qualified me back in 2020. Yeah. So I don't really do that. I do training. If you want to do something with me, we're going to train. It's like giving somebody a driver's license that only drove one time and passed the driver's course one time. No, to me, to get my license to carry, you have to earn it. You got to go through my license. You got to go through my training program. And once you've gone through my training program, then you can go to do the license to carry class. But until you've gone through every portion of my training class, I'm not going to license you. I'm not going to put my name on that because I'm responsible for that.
So what type of gun would you recommend to a lady to carry?
So we have what's called it depends on how you're going to carry it. Are you going to carry it on your person, or is it going to be something that you have at your house? Is it going to be something that you keep in your car? Like, I need to know how that person is going to carry the gun that I can make recommendations, because there are different size guns too, right? You have the standard size, you have the compact, you have the micro compact, so they're different types, and they all serve different purposes. I recommend for women, for anybody that carries, right? Anybody that carries on their person, to carry a compact or a micro compact, because the footprint is smaller, right? You can carry it in your purse, you can carry it in your pant, on your belt loop. There are different ways you can carry it, and it doesn't really show. It doesn't print, right? Bigger guns tend to print, right? Okay. So I would suggest smaller guns, so a compact or a micro compact. Now, the caliber I would suggest is nothing less than a 9mm, because people get small guns and then they get small bullets.
Right.
I'm not saying it's not going to work, but you want the maximum stopping capacity, right? And to me, I suggest 9mm. 9mm, or even in the smaller guns, they don't have as much kickback, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if you get a small gun with a high caliber, like a 40 or 45, there's not enough spring there in order to cast the recoil, right? To cast the power of that caliber. So you have a lot of recoil when you shoot those small guns. So I suggest smaller round, smaller gun, nothing less than a 9. A 380, 22, you're just wasting your money.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's good. Yeah.
See, but you learn it in my class, though. You learn it in my class. I'm taking my class. I teach.
Once you pull out a gun, you have to use it. There's no. That's for me. That if I pull it out, I'm using it. But
yeah. In that situation, right? It depends on the circumstances, right? You have to be able to articulate the fear of serious bodily injury and or death, right? So if you pull out a gun that means that you have reached. That means your interaction has reached that threshold of serious bodily injury, not like a slap. Sorry, not like a slap, not like a push. Serious bodily injury. That means that person is trying to cause you to lose your faculties. Or death. You can pull it out. Now, this is why I say you don't have to shoot, because if the threat stops when you introduce the weapon, right? If it stops, that person says, all right, I'm done. You have to stop at that point. If you continue to proceed, you know, and to initiate contact with that person after they gave up, then you're going to be seen as the aggressor. And if you shoot that person after they've surrendered, you can get charged. So it's a very delicate line.
All right. So here's the thing. You call body harm to me. I pull it out. Then you say to me, "Okay, I'm done."
No.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Wait.
Okay.
So, okay, let me clarify. This is before the interaction has happened, right? Or this is during the interaction. What's the question?
This actually would be before, because before, now my fear is there, and you did push me. I'm gonna say you pushed me, and I went in, and you said, "Okay, now I'm done." So do I back away from you, or I turn my back and walk away from you?
At that point, once a gun is been pulled out, you have to make sure that that situation is safe and clear, right? If you pull out a gun, that means you didn't have enough time to call the police, right? I would suggest if you pull that gun out and that person is backing away, to document the situation, to make sure that you cover yourself, because what do you think that person is going to do? They're probably going to say, "Hey man, I was walking down the street, the lady put a gun on me."
Right.
And what's going to happen? You're probably going to be charged with, you know, what kind of, whatever, I can't think of the crime right now, but you probably get charged, or you get questioned. But if it got to a point where you felt you have to defend yourself by pulling out your gun, make sure you document that. Let them know, "Hey, look, I was walking down the street. This guy came and approached me. He pushed me. I felt I was fearing my life. I pulled my gun out. He backed away. He went that way, but I'm calling to document it because this is why I pulled my gun out." So, you know, you want to make sure that we know what's going on in that situation, you know? So yes, if they back away, surrender, I would stay aware, make sure you document it, or have somebody else call the police, you know, let them know that you have your gun out, let them know what you have on you, so they're not coming in there blind and they're thinking that you're the suspect. You know, you always document that, but I would never just do that and just walk away. Like, you never know what could happen. You know, it's clearly that person assaulted you, so you want them to get some kind of justice, right? Go ahead.
Okay, so our time, we have to bring you back, because this is some valuable information that you're giving out to our viewers and to us. I'm gonna say to me, but wow, what would you want for our viewers to take away from today's session?
Okay, well, like I said, I've given you my background. I've given you my like what I'm passionate about. What I tell people to do is always practice awareness and always be prepared. What I do to make sure that I'm prepared consistently is physically, I train in the weight room 3 days a week. I try to run as much as I can. I'm not consistent as I should be. I run maybe two days a week. Something combative. Of course, I teach martial arts, but do something combative once a month, whether it's taking a boxing class, taking a jiu-jitsu class, taking some kind of class where you have to simulate combat. I shoot once a month. I shoot multiple times a week, but I would suggest you shoot once a month. And then for my mental health and my mental space, I meditate I meditate daily, just like take like 5 minutes out the day and just kind of practice awareness and try to center myself. And that's for situations, as a cop, especially, we deal with a lot of stressful situations, and you have to have peace of mind. You have to have centeredness in order to go into that dangerous situation with clarity. If I'm clouded, if I don't know what's going on, if I'm stressed out and I go into a situation, I can make a mistake or I can get hurt. So that's why I do that. But for citizens, how many times have you seen people get on the news, get shot over road rage? Is that something to get shot over? No. So meditating calms your nervous system. It brings it back to equilibrium. It brings it back to the center. So when things happen, instead of you reacting because you're already pent up, you kind of release those things, and you just kind of say, you know what, it ain't worth it. You're able to be more aware and just say, it's not worth it, and you move on. Sometimes the biggest, the best thing to do is be the bigger person and to say, you know what, you got it. You got it. You know what? I mean, people cut me off all the time, and you got it. I don't get, so go ahead. Yeah. So that's what I'll take away. That's what I would say for the viewers.
It's a pleasure having you, and the information that you just gave us is awesome, and the viewers are saying the same thing. Thank you for all your time. This took up all the time because we wanted to go into our 2 cents, but it was our 2 cents right now. So it's a thank you, everybody. Oh, it's like the show is clear. You got to come back. That's right. All I can say. You got to come back.
I would definitely come back. I enjoyed it. And like I said, I think there's so much more we can touch on with this.
Oh my God. Okay, so you got to have you back. There's no other place. I wanted to touch in, and I don't want you to go. You can't go with the show. But anyway, I wanted to touch in about Obama's center, the ceremony today. What was your thought about that? How do you feel? What did you think?
I thought it was amazing. I feel like we need some type of rational, centered leadership in the world right now. Somebody that has self-awareness, somebody that has self-control, and somebody that demonstrates that. I think Michelle was talking about that, demonstrating that maturity. You see, the nation, I think we follow leadership. So when leadership is destructive, the world becomes what? Destructive. Yeah. When leadership is centered, strong, focused, then the world becomes centered, strong. I'm not saying everybody, but we follow that. So I feel like that was amazing. It was definitely something that needed to be, the speech was something that needed to be heard. We need to have people that have rational thoughts and can speak clearly to everybody, to the people, and to guide people in the right direction. And hopefully, that was that healed some people. It gave some people hope. Hopefully, and we'll see what happens.
So if I can ask producer, if we can try to close out with Michelle Obama's speech today, we would love to have it. And until next week, we would love for you to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next week. Barry, it was great. Khalil, thank you so much.
You're the best, man. So much information, valuable information.
And you will be back. He will be back.
Guaranteed.
Okay. Let me know. Yeah, we could definitely do something again. I love that. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you. If she play it.
Please indulge me for a moment, because I'm going to take a little time to do something that I know my husband will not do today, and that is to fully sing his praises. Barack, you got to look at me. You told me all those years ago that you couldn't promise me the world, but you could promise me an interesting life. And of course, you outdid yourself and managed to give me both. I know it hasn't always been easy, but there hasn't been a single second through this experience that standing by your side hasn't left me in awe. 8 years in the crucible, and not once did you melt from the heat. Not once did you let it harden you. Instead, you used it to reveal your truest essence, your stubborn optimism and unflinching courage, your dazzling brilliance and unpretentious decency, your ferocious work ethic, and absolutely unshakable moral fiber. And to do it all as a first, and the higher standard that comes with all that, the claims that a U.S. senator and constitutional law expert wasn't qualified for the job, the lies about your birthright, your faith, your patriotism, the outrage when you stated the biological fact that if you'd had a son, that he too would be black. Yet, you were unflappable at every turn, always focused, always calm, always looking at the long view. You were doing the people's work, rescuing our economy, expanding healthcare, ending a war, ordering the Bin Laden raid, saving an auto industry, winning a peace prize. Barack, there are no words to express how proud I am of the way you showed up and continue to show up every single day. It has been an honor to be by your side. You have made me a better person and have given us all an example that we should strive to emulate. And I hope you know, there is truly no higher calling than that.
It's awesome.